Hello everyone, I'm your boy BnB, and today I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Brett.
Yo, what up?
Yeah, and today we're recording another episode of the BnB podcast. I'm not even gonna try for the episode number without going to YouTube, so let me do that real quick.
I can't believe you forgot, Ben, after saying that you wouldn't forget anymore.
Not only, hey, you know what? That was me being cocky for the last episode. You know, just fucking, whatever.
Last three episodes.
Wait a minute. That wasn't our last episode, was it?
What?
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
Oh, no. You haven't been you haven't bring them down, have you?
Hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. Mother fucker. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 9 of the podcast, and keep in mind, this is episode 9 as I'm sitting here in my YouTube studio looking at episode 8, and it has still not been publicized yet. I completely forgot about it. Oh, no. You know what? Y'all ever want 2 fucking episodes of a podcast in one Monday? You're about to get it. Oh my god. No, I'll release it. I'll release it tomorrow. Today is Thursday. I'll release it on Friday and be like, "Yo, sorry, I forgot about this shit." Oh my god. Well, if you're watching this on Monday and you're wondering why the podcast came out on Friday instead of last Monday, there you go. I honestly completely fucking forgot about it. Oh yeah, the reason why I forgot about it is because I thought I didn't work Monday, and then I found out that I worked Monday. That past Saturday, I found out that I worked that Monday, and me figuring out that I worked that Monday completely made it like drop from my mind. Oh well. Y'all don't get it. That's the point, right? That's the end goal, is that it releases to all of you beautiful people out there, right? That's the end goal.
Fucking crazy. The BnB podcast for your scheduled dose of train wrecks.
Oh, dude, this is the biggest one yet, and they're only gonna get more and more deadly and fatal as time goes on.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Alrighty. So, it wouldn't be a gaming podcast without at least once every 2 or 3 weeks talking about Call of Duty anytime after May. So, here we go. So, I have a little bit on the new Call of Duty, but I will admit, this is actually interesting to me. The reason why I decided that this was okay is because this actually is interesting, and this goes way beyond Call of Duty itself, and more into, like, just kind of, like, world politics, kind of, in a way. Because we all know that, especially recently in the U.S., there's been a lot of shootings and shit. So this is
you're not in you know you're in the United States if there's a shooting every week.
Yeah, pretty much. It's actually fucked up. Well, it's not just the U.S. There's other countries, but we're actually not even in, like, the top, like, 10 list, I think, of countries with the top mass shooting rates. It's just we're the most publicized one because we're the quote-unquote greatest country in the world or whatever, and everyone just is so Americanized that they look to America when something goes to shit. So to hear that we have these mass shootings in this country is always the most... Yeah. You don't even want to get me started on fucking Somali pirates and shit, but anyway.
I won't be a pirate.
Yar har tiddly dee.
Yes, exactly.
Listen, alright, I'm sorry if this podcast is a little loopy, okay? The fact that I forgot to put the last podcast up on Monday is actually a huge hit to my personal self-esteem. So
maybe we should get to the topics then, Ben.
I'm trying to get there, but then we went yar har tiddly dee about mass shootings, and it got derailed again. Alright. So,
excellent.
As we all know, So as we all know, Modern Warfare, the one that's coming out this year, is a soft reboot of the Modern Warfare series. So, in case y'all didn't know, and in case y'all thought that, like, y'all being the people watching this podcast, in case you thought that Modern Warfare coming out this year is like a continuation of 3, it's not. It's a complete soft reboot of the entire series. So it's going to feature new missions, as well as remakes of old missions from the first 3 games. That being said, the headline for this is Infinity Ward was divided over Modern Warfare 2's infamous No Russian mission. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 upped the ante in a myriad of ways, but the scene that stuck with many players, and certainly got its fair share of media coverage, was the controversial No Russian mission. In the stage, players control undercover CIA agent Joseph Allen on a mission to infiltrate a Russian terrorist cell. Unfortunately, part of that requires him to do the unthinkable, shoot up an airport full of innocent civilians. Oh my god, excuse me.
Yeah?
This scene...
So we're Americaing it. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, the scene is difficult to play through, and critics and fans alike have questioned whether the sequence is truly necessary to get the point across. Okay, I'd like to pause the article real quick to mention, not fucking once during that entire mission, this has been tested and done time and time and time again, not once during that mission are you forced to fire one round against unarmed people. Not once.
Yeah?
Are you forced to do so?
So wait, you can do that completely fine just killing the people who have guns?
Yes, the only time when you are required to... Well, you're not even really required. The only time when you have to shoot to progress quickly, meaning like time efficiently, you can technically sit back and let the AI handle everything during the shooting moments, during the shootouts, but the only time when you actually have to fire or you're inclined to fire upon somebody is when you're fighting the police force who does have weapons and riot shields and are firing back at you. That is the only time that you are inclined to fire. From the time you step out of that elevator to the time you reload your weapons and exit the airport to go outside where the police are, you do not have to fire a single shot. At no point.
Okay, cool. Cool. I like it.
So I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people think that you have to.
Terrorist?
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people seemed like when this, especially when this mission came out, a lot of people were like, "You have to shoot innocent civilians in this mission." You never had to shoot any civilians; you just had to shoot the PD. So people actually are. It's still terrible, but at least there's still armed people shooting back at you. It's not like you're fucking shooting unarmed people. That. And at the beginning of the mission, you have an option to skip it altogether anyway. So, it's not like it was that
because it's
bad.
So what you're saying is it has a point where it's like, yo, this mission is kind of messed up. You don't have to play it if you don't want to.
Yeah, there is actually a thing at the beginning of the mission that is like, hey, you don't have to do this shit. Like, you can entirely skip it. It gives you a warning and everything. It's like, warning, this mission contains some pretty fucked shit. You can skip it if you'd like to, and then you have the option to either skip it or keep playing. And even if you do say keep playing, because let's just say it's your first time playing and you don't know what you're getting yourself into, you can, after you see them start mowing down the civilians, you can pause it immediately, and there's an option in the pause menu that says skip mission. And you hit that, and it says, "Are you sure you'd like to skip this mission?" And you hit yes. So at no point is it forcing you to even do that mission, let alone fire upon innocent civilians. Just
cool, but you know what I would do?
Fire upon the innocent civilians.
I would be the best terrorist that I could be.
Oh, I knew you'd say some shit like that. Alright, anyway, continuing on with the article now that I got my point across. While speaking with Infinity Ward, the team let us know that the division over that scene was not limited to outsiders. Quote, "No Russian polarized this studio," art lead Joel Esmail says. Quote, there was a side of the studio that felt it should be played from the perspective of a security guard that got caught up in it. Then there was... which I think would have been honestly personally better. I kind of would have liked that. Then there was the other side that liked it the way it was going. I remember doing all the civilians for No Russian, and I just wouldn't. There was a point in time where we were discussing how gory we would get with the people who were getting hit. I pulled back and I said, you don't need it. People are getting tagged and their squibs are going off. It's all good. End quote. So what that tells me, stepping away from the article for a second, what that tells me is that the art lead understood. They were like, this is gonna, and all of Infinity Ward was like, we know that this is gonna be fucked up. We know that this is gonna piss a lot of people off. We know what's about to happen. We just want to make it impactful, but not barbaric. So they still had the impact of showing the scene entirely and showing blood, but they didn't want to go too far to the point where after you walk up the escalator stairs and Makarov and all of his friends fucking mow down the next group of civilians, you don't see a guy like sitting with his legs sprawled out, leaning up against a fucking pole, trying to hold his guts in his stomach. You know, like, I mean, yeah, that's technically what he's doing, but you don't see anything. As a matter of fact, I don't think any of those civilians actually have any blood on their models. It's all just on the floor. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So, like, it's a controlled environment. I've played through that mission a lot of times because I used to speedrun Modern Warfare 2, and every time I would speedrun it, I would still play through that mission. Well, not every time, but I would still play through that mission occasionally just because I like the little... Now, you can skip the mission altogether, and that's how, like, you save the most time for that mission. But I personally just like to, like, do the unique things. Like, for example, there's a moment where a couple of security guards come up an elevator. There's 2 elevators. They come up one of them, and Makarov fucking grenade launchers the shit out of it and makes the elevator fall and crash to the 2nd floor. You can get in the other elevator and push the button and ride the elevator down instead of walking down the, like, stopped escalators again. You can ride the elevator, which I thought was super cool. And there's all kinds of little details in that map that you don't necessarily see all the time. Like all the Modern Warfare 2 game cases lying around and shit. So, it's a cool mission. I actually do quite enjoy it. It's just you can skip it, so I didn't play it that much. But it's all controlled. Everything that happens in the mission is scripted. It's until you get outside and start fighting the police, it's literally impossible for you to die unless you specifically kill yourself. So it's all very controlled.
All right.
Emsley eventually made the civilian kills feature more gore after showing it to his wife, who was adamant it was needed. My wife looked at it and she was all like, "Where's the blood and guts?" And I'm like, "We didn't need to do it," he says. "She called me out. She calls me on my bullshit. It's pretty funny. She looks at things different in a different lens. She's a lawyer. She doesn't mess around, but she's a good gut check on stuff." So... That being said, it seems like the blood that's in the mission now wasn't in it, and his wife convinced him to throw it in. So they kind of got like a middle ground.
Well, I mean, thinking on it from that perspective, absolutely. I personally think it's necessary. Why is it necessary? Because personally, actually, now that I think about it, it should have more gore than the standard enemies. Because the standard enemies are combatants.
And they have, like, armor and shit like that, yeah.
Right. But not exactly the point that I'm trying to get at. Think about it. Non-combatants are always going to be a gruesome factor in combat, where especially when they get caught up or when you're intentionally firing upon them.
Yeah.
So, removing the blood and the gore from them just desensitizes the violence and makes it easier. Which, I don't know, that's just not a good idea.
Yeah, I think it went beautifully the way it was. It had gore, but again, like I said, it's not like you see, Vadim, the random dude who's flying from Russia to the US or Russia to fucking, Kurdistan or whatever, fucking leaning against a pillar, sitting on the ground, literally holding his physical guts in. He's sitting there holding himself, but he's either already dead
Right.
or like sticking a hand up in mercy, but he's not actually like that fucked up. It's just blood on the ground around him, implying that he's been shot. It's still very impactful, especially the sound design. The sound design on that level is amazing. Just you walk in off the elevator, people turn around and they have the most confused, like there's actually like you can see in their faces genuine confusion. It's not like it was a big crowd and they just skimped out on that. There's a few people at the forefront that are actually genuinely confused. And then when you raise the weapons, those faces go from confusion to terror, and then just the screams as your teammates are mowing them down. The sound design was so impactful, and it was such an impactful scene because it perfectly shows the grisly nature of that terror attack, and it's the perfect thing to fuel Russia wanting to go to war with the US to start the Third World War that that game and the following game set up. Or show. Because that's the whole point of that mission. The whole point of that mission was for Makarov and his terrorist group to blame that attack on the United States, so then they could, so then Russia would want to go to war. Problem is, Makarov knew that Alan was, what was his name? Was Alexei, right? Because that was his undercover name, was Alexei Borden or something like that. He knew that Alexei was a U.S. CIA agent. That's why he shoots you at the end of the mission. He literally says, after they find this body, all of Russia will cry for war, because they'll realize that, oh shit, that's a US CIA agent. Why would US CIA be shooting up a Russian airport? Da-da! Welcome to the plot point that starts World War III, pretty much, in that game's franchise. So I thought that was a pretty good thing. So, based on what we've seen and learned about the campaign in 2019's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, it's almost a certainty that we'll have some intense and potentially controversial scenes to play through. Pause real quick just to mention, there's already journalists throwing a hissy fit about the use of white phosphorus in one of the trailers. So we already know that we already know that this game has a lot of eyes on it right now.
White phosphorus.
However, the campaign directors don't seem to think it'll be one or two particular scenes that will stick out to the rest over the rest of the pack. Quote, people ask us that internally over and over. They're like, where's your blankety blank scene? The campaign gameplay director Jacob Minkoff says, quote, there are so many of these at this point that people have stopped asking that question. The answer is it's the whole game. Studio narrative director Taylor Kurosaki says, I could come up with a list of 8 different things that it could be. Who knows what it will be? I suspect there will be a number of different moments and people will call out their different favorite moments, Minkoff says. In the same way that Modern Warfare 1, people called out the nuke and the aftermath sequence where you crawl out of the helicopter, or they called out the AC-130, or Crew Expendable, or All Gillied Up. There were a bunch of those, and I feel very confident that we have a bunch of those. Alright, so I'm going to stop the article there, but I will say that he has a point. A way that you know how you made a good game is if there is more than one thing that people will constantly talk about.
Yeah.
Like, the nuke and the mission called Aftermath, where you're Jackson and you're crawling out of the helicopter, is so good. So good. Like, you crawl out of the helicopter, you see all your dead Marines around, you're, limping, trying to walk with probably a missing leg or a missing foot, probably tore off at, the ankle or something, and you're just walking on a nub or some shit. You're probably walking around, you look up, you see you fall on the ground, you look up, and you see a fucking building, like a 12-story building fucking crumble away like it's nothing. And then you look slightly to the left and you see the giant mushroom cloud and you just fall on the ground and everything fades to white, and that's how Jackson dies. it's grisly, but it's beautiful, right? War is tragic and war is hell and war is terrible, but war can also be beautiful in that regard. Destruction can be beautiful, damn it.
Especially when it's well played out.
Yeah. And especially when it's make-believe. And you can do whatever the fuck you want and know that in real life it has no consequence. Like nuking a fucking random country in Afghanistan or fucking shooting up a Russian civilian airport. You know, it's all in a video game. It's not real. And that's what people have to remember. You know, this white phosphorus shit, it's not like we're actually using white phosphorus on people in a
against
foreign
real
country
people
in that game. It's in a game. They're not even real people. So just keep that in mind, everyone. Alright, moving on, because we already spent we spent literally 21 minutes on Call of Duty already. So I want to move on to other shit. Enough about Call of Duty for now. This one I added because I think it's personally cool, and I'm actually going to look into buying one because this game actually really meant a lot to me in terms of the grand scheme of the series.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Rogue's Shay Patrick Cormac action figure coming from Damn Toys. Assassin's Creed Rogue was the 7th installment of the Assassin's Creed series that didn't make much of a splash since it released on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 on the same day as Assassin's Creed Unity on Xbox One and PS4. It was a last-gen game going up against the new-gen flagship experience. Getting two Assassin's Creed games on the same day was an awesome thing, however, and Rogue ended up being pretty damn good, as it was designed similarly to the great Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That means plenty of sailing. Now, I'm going to stop reading the article already because it basically goes over Shay. But not only do I know Shay's story very well, he's actually my second favorite character in all of Assassin's Creed. I'm not even fucking kidding you. When Unity and Rogue were coming out, I didn't much care for Rogue, because I was like, nah, that's last gen, dude. I already sold my fucking 360, you know, and saved up all the, you know, I already sold my 360 and sold a lot of my games to help, to give to my parents to help fund me getting a PS4, you know?
Right.
So I was kind of like, let's just push the game out of my memory, so that way I don't feel bad about not being able to play it. Because I genuinely did feel bad. Assassin's Creed was, quote, it's not right now, and it won't be until they return to some sort of roots that are actually fucking good. But it was, I did like the franchise. I loved that franchise so much back then, especially after 3. 3 is my, like, literally, like, probably second to third favorite it's probably third favorite Assassin's Creed game. It's amazing.
Unity.
I personally
Unity was probably my favorite playthrough of the game, mainly because I did it with you.
Yeah, no, Unity is my 4th favorite, and everyone kind of questions why it's so high on my tier list. I'm not gonna lie, it's not because the game was especially good. It's just because of the co-op aspect. It's because of all of the cool shit that we could do, because the game had cool shit in it, it's just the story was shit. So even though the story was shit, the cool weapons, the cool gameplay mechanics, the cool locations like Notre Dame, and like being able to climb Notre Dame, and like that old France, you know, during the French Revolution. The setting was great.
How about the crypts?
Yeah, the crypts, dude. Like, the setting was great. The DLCs were great. The fucking weapons and clothing and customization and the armor system was great. It was all a blast. It just didn't have a great story. So what did we do to like almost make up for that story? We fucked around in co-op, and it was a blast. Nothing was... one of my best gaming memories is still from when we were playing Unity one time, and we were playing that painting stealing mission over and over and over again, and we'd always berserk one of, like, the big heavy dudes in the main hall and watch literally every enemy from the entire mansion staff come to fight these two big axe wielder guys. Like, they're all it's literally like 12 guys fighting in the lobby. It's hilarious. I remember we berserked like I remember we had a 3-player co-op at one time. It was me, you, and somebody else. Me and you berserked the big
Probably
dudes. It was probably Nick.
Was it Nick?
It was probably. I don't remember. We could always go back and watch a stream sometime. But me and you berserked the big guys, and I think Nick or whoever else was with us berserked one of those like elite fencer type enemies.
Right.
And watching those three fight their friends in like this 12-man clusterfuck, and we could see it through the wall with our like assassin vision or whatever the fuck it was in that game. That was amazing. I fucking loved that. That was the time of my fucking life. This game... Oh, sorry.
My favorite time in Unity, actually in any Assassin's Creed game I've ever played, was the time we jumped off the building and I immediately opened fire with my mortar cannon directly into a crowd of civilians.
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Cleared an entire fucking city block.
That was so good. That was such a good moment, dude. See, that game has so many fond memories. But...
They closed the server.
Yeah, I know. It's upsetting. But... And Rogue is my second favorite Assassin's Creed game. Yes. I think so. Isn't that what I said? Or did I say third? No, yeah, third. It's third.
I don't know.
My bad. Third. Because second is Assassin's Creed 3. It's my third. Because...
Fucking Connor fanboy.
I think he was a great character. Y'all can fucking... Don't at me. So... The reason why it's my third favorite game... So... My favorite is Brotherhood. Because... The way that they introduced getting assassin recruits, that whole system, fucking the weapons that they added, the parkour system, in my opinion, was at its best at that point, and Ubisoft even knew that to the point where they couldn't improve it anymore, so they just gave the motherfucker a hook blade in the next game because fuck it, why not? And the story was absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, 2 was great, but I feel like 2 fell flat a little bit because it was overambitious. They wanted you to be able to explore all of, like, Renaissance Italy, but you couldn't really do that on that hardware, so you ended up with just these awkward miniature versions of previous Assassin's Creed maps, and you could switch between them. It was weird. It was kind of awkward to me, in my opinion. But Brotherhood... They condensed it down, like I think 2 should have been. 2 probably should have been, like, one location that all this shit happened in rather than multiple. And they condensed it down to Rome. Like, okay, I said one place, but, like, I feel like in 2 they should have had, like, the Auditore Villa, then maybe, like, Florence, maybe one other place, and then a small subsection of Rome for the end of the game. Just those 4, not like the 5 or 6 that they ended up having that were like kind of all mediocre together places to go. And then Brotherhood just focused on Rome. It was just Rome. It was the wrap up of the legend that was Ezio Auditore, and I know that he went on further and found the fucking library and found Altair's body and, you know, Constantinople and all that shit, but like, I feel like Ezio honestly didn't really even need Revelations, to be honest. Like, I feel like Revelations just kind of nostalgia-baited a lot of people. It was just there for everyone to be like, hey, remember Assassin's Creed 1? We're gonna tell Altair's story. But how are we gonna do that? We don't want to make a prequel. Oh, I know. Let's tell it through weird fucking... those who came before visions from these weird coins that kind of look like Japanese... or, Chinese yen, but oversized. So, I don't know. It was a weird game. I also feel like that game was primarily made just to tell the story of Subject 15, who was the guy who came before Desmond. Yeah. But Brotherhood was a masterpiece, right? Then you have 3. I liked 3 because the plot was actually surprisingly simple. It was very simple. Like, really simple. It was so simple, in fact, that there wasn't really a way it could go wrong in my eyes. It's just a Native American guy who was wronged by a Templar. He finds out about assassins and Templars, and then he becomes an assassin to fight the Templars. Pretty self-explanatory. It's not that bad. And you know what? Connor, I full-heartedly believe, is the... No, not believe, it's fact that Connor is the only reason why the Assassin Order continued after the colonial era.
Maybe in America.
In America, yeah, in America. I that's fair. That is an asterisk. In America, yeah. But like, because without Connor, the Templars would have ruled America, and then it kind of would have been more of like an America versus the rest of the world kind of deal when it came to the Assassins and Templars, you know? Because, and we find out that the reason why Connor had to step in and save the Assassins in America during the colonial period is explained in Rogue. It's all Shay's fault. The reason why Shay is such an influential character is because he is the sole reason as to how Black Flag and Assassin's Creed 3 are at all connected to Unity. If you've never played Assassin's Creed Rogue, you've probably played 3, and then 4, and then you probably played Unity, and you're like, what the fuck does Arno have to do with any of this shit? And there is really no explanation unless you play Rogue. Rogue is such a
that's fair.
Game. And the main reason why I think Rogue's story is very important is because, again, it explains what happened to the Assassin Order in the Americas. It explains how Arno is connected to the whole Assassin's Creed storyline. How the Kenways and Arno are connected at all. And it finally, for once in Assassin's Creed's life, throughout all of Assassin's Creed, ever since Assassin's Creed 1 all the way to up till like 3 and 4, 4 not so much, but 3, it's always been Assassins are the good guys, Templars are the bad guys, but Templars don't always mean that bad. And it's always hinted at that they have some good in them, but it's almost always just evil, dastardly deeds, right? Rogue flips that on its head. It's like, this is infinitely more of a gray area than any game before it has fucking explained. Rogue takes the Assassin good, Templar bad, and completely says, actually, it's just a big clusterfucked gray area. And it's all about each individual character's personal experiences as to why they chose what side they're on. Not for the greater good of anything.
Like, look at all the stuff that happened in Syndicate.
Which I never played.
All the things you did as... all the shit you did as the male brother, I can't remember what the fuck his... Like, the male sibling, I can't remember what the fuck his name is. But 90% of it was, hey, this feels a lot like something a fucking Templar would do rather than an assassin. Meanwhile, you then go in as the sister and clean up whatever fucking mess he makes.
Yeah.
And it's just that, through the entire game. Granted, they're both assassins, but it's just...
And I feel like Rogue definitely cleans up not only 4, but the feeling of side swapping or the feeling of side gray area that was so strongly emphasized in 3. Because if you remember correctly, in Assassin's Creed 3, the whole first sequence of the game, you play as Connor's dad as a Templar, and you didn't realize that he was a Templar until at the end of the sequence.
When they do their little fucking Templar toast bullshit.
Yeah, and then they literally give him a ring that has the Templar logo on it. And that was kind of
what is their oath again?
I don't remember. I don't remember the Templars. I remember the Creeds, but I don't remember the Templars. But basically, the whole point of basically both sides have a motto. The problem is that we all knew that both sides were both trying to achieve the same thing. We all knew that what they were trying to achieve was similar. But until 3, and more specifically Rogue, we didn't realize that what the Assassins and the Templars are looking for is literally the exact same thing. It's just 2 different ways of going about it. Both of them...
Realistically, they're both wrong.
They're both wrong, but also both correct. That's what makes this a gray area. The only difference is one's individual morals, and that's why each individual member of the Assassin Order and the Templar Order are on their own sides because of their own personal experiences. Both of them want world peace. The Assassins are trying to do it by just letting everybody live free and trying to change their minds just to be good. The Templars are saying, you can't change bad people's minds to be good. Fuck them, let's kill them, make basically a one ruling over all government, and then make everyone be peaceful. So it's these 2 sides to this coin. The coin is all made out of gold, but just there's one side of the gold coin and the other side of the gold coin, and they're both trying to compete to be the core piece of the gold coin. And it's an amazing story. I love old Assassin's Creed. And then fucking... I don't remember. 4 kind of ruined it a little bit, but at least they kind of brought it back with Rogue in a spectacular way. But then, what was the game after fucking Unity? Unity kind of fucked it up, just like 4 did, but a little bit harder. And then the one after, I think it was Syndicate, and then Syndicate just blew it all to hell. But yeah, it was...
I mean, Syndicate was alright.
Yeah, but how much of that game was actually, like, Assassins and Templars, like how it was before?
Oh, it was straight up just Assassins, Templars, and it was just that your characters are 2 assassins that are in training and had absolutely no orders to go where they were. The idea was, don't fucking go there. You're not ready. We're not ready.
Yeah,
and we're not going to be able to bring down this Templar Empire that's been standing for 200 years. And then, guess what? They go there anyway and they fucking do it.
I don't know. I feel like... Now, I don't remember the dude's name either, but I remember the chick's name was Faye. Faye, in my opinion, in that game, even though I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of stuff on it. I watched like halfway through somebody's Let's Play of it before I got bored.
She feels true to the assassin code, honestly.
She is an actual assassin. Her brother, I don't know where the fuck he gets off, but he's as bad as fucking Edward Kenway. Fuck him. Like, holy shit. Like, she's an actual assassin. I don't know what the fuck that dude's doing or what the fuck Edward Kenway was doing, but...
he's just there for his sister.
It's almost like they're Templars that are saying, oh yeah, I'm an assassin. It's like, but why are you being a fucking disruptive, just taking all of the blood that you can, you know, committing like these mass crimes and doing all this loud and proud shit if you're an assassin? And they're just like... I mean, hey, I might do stuff like a Templar, but I'm an assassin. It's like, no, you're not. Assassins have a specific MO. Templars have a specific MO. When you start muddying the lines like that, that's not necessarily blurring the moral gray area. That's just making your characters harder to read. But anyway.
But then we had the bullshit that was Origins and Odyssey. I'm not saying they're bad games, but they changed literally everything.
Fuck the story. Can we all just say for 1 second? I'm gonna say fuck the story. I'm not bringing the story into this. I just want to say, and me and Brett, I don't know how you feel about this now since it's been forever since I've played this game, Brett. But me and Brett had a debacle about this. Why? Why on earth do I have to not only upgrade my hidden blade, but then on top of that, even when you have it maxed out, it's not even a one-hit fucking kill? I understand.
I still haven't managed to do that playthrough.
Yeah, no, because I'm not returning to that game. Fuck that game. But it's like, okay, I understand. Stealth has gotten a little too easy. But rather than just saying, fuck it, we give up on trying to make stealth hard, just make the combat harder, or make the hidden blade not one kill. The point of the one-hit kill hidden blade was that players who were willing enough to take the extra time to sneak, and that the players that were willing to do all of this stealth shit get rewarded by having to take down an enemy instantly. By being able to take down an enemy instantly. That was kind of the point. It was even the point back in the original Assassin's Creed. Because combat back then, they purposely made it hard to try to tell players, like, hey, you should take probably a bit more of a stealthy approach to this. And they tried to make people good at stealth. Problem is, after you do that over decades, people get really good at stealth. So you have to keep thinking of new ways to make the stealth harder. But instead of doing that, they just got lazy and said, fuck it, let's make their hidden blades not one-hit kill and make everyone have to start doing the loud and proud combat now. It's like,
Well, the one argument I have for that is, at that point, you're not an assassin.
Exactly.
You're not. You're just a warrior that's out for blood.
I mean, and I guess, okay, and I guess I can give Origins a pass, because that's supposed to be the start of the Brotherhood. Right.
Right, that's supposed to be the start of the Assassins.
But what about... Or no, I'm sorry, Odyssey. I believe Ancient Sparta chronologically is before or after Egypt? In real history.
Fuck if I know off the top of my head.
I think it was before. Okay, whichever one was the game from before. I think Odyssey was the game from before. I will let
Origins is the start of the order.
Or, yeah, Odyssey, I'll let Odyssey slide, personally. I'll let Odyssey slide, because Odyssey, the order wasn't even a thing yet. It wasn't even being developed, I don't think. It wasn't even, like, really... It wasn't even, like, in somebody's head to do, right? It was just kind of like, hey, I'm a fucking Spartan warrior, I'm gonna fucking battle with people, right? That gets a pass. However, Origins, the whole point of Origins was that it's the origin of the order. Bayek is supposed to be, like, pretty much the first assassin, so he should be the one that starts... Yeah, and his wife. And that means he should be the one that starts pioneering the stealth gameplay. Now, I can understand at the very beginning of the game when shit's not upgraded. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to fight people. But what I don't understand is I got the Hidden Blade up to the second to last highest upgrade tier. The only reason why I couldn't get the highest is because in order to get the highest upgrade tier, it was a late game quest item for completing a quest. I understand that. I'm at the second to last upgrade tier, and I still can't one-hit low-level motherfuckers. It's ridiculous. I understand he's new. He's learning how to use the Hidden Blade. But at what point do you finally say, okay, now he knows how to do it, and now he knows how to kill people efficiently with it?
I mean, keep in mind, he cut off his fucking finger with it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's fine, because that's a perfect turning point testament to show that, okay, he doesn't know how to use this weapon, he needs to learn how to use it. But I feel like a good thing that they should have done is, as you upgrade the Hidden Blade, the upgrading itself, that he is manually doing to his own blade, mind you, goes to show that, okay, he's starting to learn this weapon, he's starting to learn how to use it better, so it should start being a one-hit kill, because he knows how to actually kill people with it. Alright, I'm done ranting about Assassin's Creed.
Fair.
We gotta fucking move on. This is making me actually heated. I fucking hate the two new games, and I hope they go back to an original style sometime soon. Okay. Next thing. I don't want to spend...
Modern Assassin's Creed. Fuck yeah.
Alright. I want to move through this next one really fast, because not only are we really close to going over time, but I also want to, because we're like 44 and a half minutes in now, but I also, there's not much to talk about. It's just, I'm basically saying this to let you guys, the viewers, know that this is happening and when it's happening. Rise of Skywalker heads to Star Wars Battlefront 2 this December. DICE continues to update Star Wars Battlefront 2 in big ways, along with Felucia being added as a large-scale map in September. Fans who stuck with this multiplayer experience can look forward to the Rise of Skywalker content in December, likely lining up with the launch of the film on December 20th. Much like Lucasfilm keeping the contents of this final installment in Rey's trilogy under lock and key, DICE can't reveal what players can expect, just that it's based on the film. So, I'm gonna stop reading. Oh no, wait. No, I will read this last paragraph, my bad. If you jump into the game for the Rise content when it hits, you'll find a host of things that have been added, such as new 4-player co-op mode that pushes your team to complete objectives, both for the Galactic Republic and the Separatist Alliance. These missions unfold on Felucia, Geonosis, Naboo, Kamino, and Kashyyyk, the prequel trilogy planets. Now, I'm going to stop reading the article and mention that they're finally actually waiting for the movie to come out to release this dumbass content. Do you remember back the first the last 2 Star Wars movies, they'd release the shit like a month in advance and it would actually tell you like pretty much genuinely spoilers?
Nope, I don't play that game.
I know you don't, but I didn't play it either, but even when Star Wars 8 was coming out, they were like releasing shit like before the movie came out and it actually kind of had spoilers on it.
See, those are the guys that are missing chromosomes.
See, alright, I don't care what anyone says. You can fucking talk shit about... Don't at me. Out of context spoilers are still spoilers. I don't care if they're in context or not. Out of context spoilers are still spoilers. If DICE releases a skin for a character, and this skin on the character is suddenly now, like, has a slash on their face, or missing an arm, or some dumb shit like that, you're basically spoiling it. You're like, oh, this person either gets in an intense battle and loses part of their face, or loses an arm. Like, for example, what if a month before, so not December, now I know that they're not going to do this because this article and DICE have confirmed that they're waiting until the movie comes out to release this update, but what if, so the film launches on December 20th, what if November 20th, they release this update early, and Rey, right, the main character, Rey, now has a skin that has her double-bladed red lightsaber from the trailers, and she has this Sith cloak, and she has the fucking Sith eyes from Force Unleashed or some shit, and we get a fully detailed 3D model of not only her lightsaber, but also her new outfit. Do you know how much of a spoiler that could be? Do you know how much little shit could be on her uniform, like on her utility, but whatever, that could give away shit? It's
fully aware.
Fucking terrible. I hate it when people release spoilers, even out of context. It's so dumb. Welcome to the heated episode of the BnB podcast, where Ben gets fucking pissed about stupid shit. Alright.
This isn't the heated episode. I'm not even upset yet.
Not you, anyway. Alright. So this is our last topic. This one's also short as well, but this is one of the 2 interesting ones. Before the podcast started, I told Brett that there were 2 really interesting topics that I had. That was the Call of Duty one and this one. Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay livestream coming soon. And there's a picture, and it says, CD Projekt Red has announced that it is holding a Cyberpunk 2077 livestream. So tomorrow by the time we're recording this, but it won't be tomorrow by the time this episode goes up, and I'm sorry, this episode will go up after this live stream is done. So I hope that by Monday, when this video releases, you guys down in the comments below can tell me how the gameplay was, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna fucking watch it. They have announced it's holding a Cyberpunk 2077 live stream on August 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So, tomorrow at... What is that? Hold on. 11 a.m. PST to EST. What is that in our time zone, Brett? 2 p.m. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. there will be a Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay live stream. The presentation features 15 minutes of what the developer has been showing at Gamescom, as well as additional information about the game. Pacifica, different play styles, and more will be discussed. The live stream can be seen over on CD Projekt Red's official Twitch channel. This would be a moment where I would say a link to their Twitch would be in the description of this video, but let's be honest, I'll probably fucking forget. So I'm not even going to say that. But yeah. So apparently there's going to be gameplay coming soon. I'll probably watch it later on. I definitely won't be there for the live premiere of it or any shit like that, but it'll definitely be coming very soon, hopefully. Especially for people who were hyped about this game. I know a few people who were super hyped about this game, so will be exciting. So, anyways, Brett, what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far of Cyberpunk 2077?
I don't have any thoughts at all because I haven't paid any attention to it whatsoever.
God damn it, Brett. I swear to God, I have Brett on this podcast literally just to be like... No. I was about to say some, like, mean shit, and I know that you wouldn't have taken it seriously, but actually, realistically, I'm really glad that you're my co-host, because you were, like, the perfect halfway bridge between me giving you. Okay, so there's like me who like has read these articles. I actually, by the way, half these articles I don't even read before I like say them on the podcast because because I normally already know about the topic. It's just the way it goes. But I like how I'm the guy giving the information and knows at least a little bit about whatever we're talking about. Brett has no fucking clue or a little inclination of what's going on. And then the fans either are... we're literally the duality of what the fans will be. Basically, we're the two guys in the podcast, and all of the people who are watching this will either be a me or a you.
Yep.
They'll either already know about everything.
That's why I don't look into it.
Either they'll already know all about everything, either more than me or as much as me, and I might be able to tell them something new or, like, maybe confirm some rumor that they heard or some shit like that. And you are completely clueless to most of this shit, and there'll be fans that are like you, where they get to learn something new because I'm giving them information. It's perfect.
Yep. Fuck yeah.
What we got here is a perfect show. That means you all need to watch, like, and subscribe.
Nice.
Alright. So that's it for this episode of the BnB podcast. I have no more topics, thank God, because we're already over time. We talked way too long about Call of Duty, and even way too longer about fucking Assassin's Creed. The whole Assassin's Creed topic was about a fucking action figure, and not once did we actually really mention the action figure. We just talked about Assassin's Creed. So, anyway...
Right. That's how we do things.
Yeah,
train wreck after train wreck.
So yeah, since that's my third favorite Assassin's Creed game, I'm probably going to buy an action figure of it, just because I like Shay, personally. But anyways, that's going to be it for the BnB podcast. I've been your co-host, Ben.
And I've been your co-host, Brett.
I will see you all in the next episode of the podcast. Bye-bye.
It's already been too long. Why are you still here?